In the last video I redesigned the original 10 aliens from the classic series. So now it's time to redesign the additional unlocked aliens, which include Cannonbolt, Wildvine, the Null Trio, Upchuck, Ditto, iGuy, Webig, and the surprise 20th alien. Who is it gonna be? Stick around until the end of the video to find out. For now, let's get started with the 11th alien. When redesigning Cannonball, most people tend to make him more beetle-like or even go with the armadillo route since he can, float into a ball. But for me, more than a roly-poly, Cannonball is like a panda. Pelarotas even went through extinction too, but didn't survive, so point for the pandas I guess. Still, they're big, clumsy, and also roll. So for my redesign I wanted to incorporate the rebuild face pattern since it kinda looks like a bear nose. But after many attempts I couldn't get it to work, so I just went with the classic face pattern. What I did include from the rebuild were his black hands and feet. Lastly, I made his back shell lean out a little bit from behind. There isn't really much you can change about Cannonball. His design is already perfect. He's big, round, and cute. Unless we're talking about Dynamite Cannonball. That thing gives me nightmares.
Cannonbolt.
The world forgot about Wildvine as soon as Swampfire showed up, because on top of plant powers he also has fire powers. I'm gonna talk more about overlapping powers in Alien Force when I redesign those in the next video. At the time I'm recording this, there might be a couple of them on my socials, so go follow me if you wanna see them before the video comes out. But for now, let's focus on Wildvine. As always, I try to get to a middle ground between his original and Omniverse design. One thing I really like about his classic one is how his legs slither around like snakes, as opposed to Omniverse where they work more like spider legs. Classic also breaks out the rings on his body with blue eyes. But like I said in my first video, one of my rules is giving every alien green eyes. Another rule I said was giving every alien a uniform, so I'm including the belt he has in Omniverse. Wildvine. I think we all can agree that Ben Wolf, Ben Mommy, and Ben Victor are not right names. Snare-Oh and Frankenstrike are massive improvements. But Blitzwolfer? No, I don't speak English. Well, yeah, I speak English, but it's not my native language. The point is I looked up the definition of Blitz and didn't find anything related to sound. I know the name comes from Wolf Blitzer, but come on. That's why I decided to rename him as Blarewolf. The word Blair is related to sound, it still starts with BL, the second word is wolf, and Blarewolf kinda sounds like werewolf, so it's a perfect fit. Now actually talking about his design, I didn't do anything crazy. I replaced his black tubes with the same veil as Wildvine, and took off his tail. Or more like, forgot to draw his tail. So I had an afterthought. What if I make one of his head tendrils so long he kinda resembles a tail? So I did that, and I like it. Makes him look more alien.
Blarewolf.
Based on that one Omniverse scene, and how the original Mommy died in the classic series, rest in peace Nameless Goon, I had an idea for how his powers could work. So for my thing, Defku fans' heads are like beetles. The cloth on the side are their wings and the sides of the mask are their legs. These beetles can create some kind of alien silk resembling bandages that they have high control of, letting them create humanoid bodies. When their head comes off, they can fly around with their wings. Another rule I had was not making extra render for the aliens, so you can have this tiny doodle I made on the sketch page. With the real body being their head, you would imagine the only trick badge is there, right? Right? Well, the thing is I couldn't figure out where to place it. About his head, the back of his head, I want it to be on display, so I put it on his end. How does that work when the head pops off? Simple, that one strand of alien silk comes off with it.
Snare-Oh.
You thought I was done changing powers around? Think again. After one appearance, Frankenstrike quickly fell behind with every single electrical alien that came out. He's arguably the less interesting one from them. So for my version of him, I'm giving him the power to tear himself apart. This being inspired by how Dr. Victor incorporates technology to his body. He can now take off his arms and replace them with an electrodomestic device, or just take off his hands and send them like minions. You have probably noticed I also tried to make his back coils look more genetic. For my take on Transilians, their skeleton is made of silver, which is a red electric conductor. The coils on their backs come out from their spine, as well as the little space coming out of his chest. Lastly, I kept the look of his boots because that scene of him sticking to a spaceship is probably the most iconic thing he has going on for him.
Frankenstrike.
It's time we have the subspecies conversation. I like the concept, but the execution only brought a lot of questions. because the perk and the mark look and act the same except for little details, causing a lot of confusion in the fandom about what is a subspecies. Like, no, malware is not a mechamorph subspecies, it's just sick, in a way. And no, color is not a Tetraman subspecies for having a different skin color, that's a wild thing to say. I think it's neat they made both Upchuck designs canon, but the cause was the audience completely misinterpreting what the term subspecies refers to. Even in real life, the existence of subspecies is highly debated. What I'm trying to say is no, I'm not drawing more Upchuck. I have another 1,896 aliens to draw, and I prefer the perk Upchuck's comic-like appearance. I don't have much to say design-wise, like Wildvine he does not benefit from Renice, but those are the rules I decided to torture myself with.
Upchuck.
A fan favorite beloved by many. Great design, good power, and charming personality. As always, I tried fusing his existing designs, leaning more towards Omniverse and his cute appearance. As for his powers, I think that never bothered me, but when you think about it, it becomes really weird. It's how the Omnitrix badge also clones with him, which, like I say, it didn't bother me before, but then Ben does this in Duke. And I did not like that at all. So for my version of Ditto, I imagine only the original has the badge. Now, what happens if the original dies? The badge reappears in one of the other clones, becoming the new leader of the group. With that in mind, this Ditto will then share pain across every copy, because feeling how the leader dies will be extremely traumatic for every other Ditto. And this witness wasn't present during Omniverse either, so yeah. Going back to his design, I gave his skin a blue tint so you can tell apart what's his skin and what's a white part of the uniform. Ditto! To this day, it remains a mystery what was iGuy's first appearance. Was it negative then? Was it secret of the Omnitrix? Does in both Ben acts like he has always had him on his playlist? For us, he just started existing at some point. His designs have stayed consistent between series. The main differences relied on his proportions, with Classic being more alien while Omniverse is more standard. So this time I'll be leaning more towards the Classic design. I like how big his chest is compared to his tiny waist. Makes him look like he's gonna fall over at any time. Omniverse gave him different kinds of beams, being able to shoot ice, fire and electricity. I like the idea of making him more useful compared to the other aliens in the watch, but I don't think the elemental eyes are the way to go. So mine only has concussive beams like Cyclops from the X-Men. For his design overall, I didn't change much. Just add wire he has on his face between his fingers. Hi guy! Arguably one of Ben's most powerful aliens, just behind the usual Alien X, Clockwork, Atomics trio. As always, the classic series design had weird alien proportions that made him unique. Omniverse took a more heroic approach while maintaining great attention to detail, making him stand out. And then UAF... Let's not talk about UAF. Webik also appeared on the reboot, but he looks pretty much the same as in Omniverse. For my redesign, I tried to find a balance between everything that made his designs great. At some point I was starting to pick which arms to go with, because I like classic weird shape, but also like Omniverse elbow fins. But then I came across Homeless One Art's design and realized both could work simultaneously, so shout out to him. And now for my original touch, his skin is a radiant resembling a Mesa mountain because, you know, he's really big, so it makes sense his texture like the rain.
Way big.
And now, the surprise 20th alien. Who is it gonna be? Arctiwana? Spitter? Clockwork? The truth is, I like the future aliens staying in the future. And I'm doing this playlist in chronological order, so you know what that means. The coolest alien to ever exist. If you ask 11 years old Ben. He was originally designed by no other than Dave Johnson, so he would resemble a classic series alien. He will later on be adapted to Omniverse art style by the late Jay Wyatt. Something that stands out from his design are his big hands, but in the original concept art his forearms are also quite big, kinda resembling sleeves. So I put an emphasis on that for my design. It can also be seen with silver plugs with yellow tips, while the final version has golden plugs. So I thought, why not silver plugs with golden tips? For his uniform, I'm not a fan of whatever's going on with that bikini he's wearing. So I turned it into some short pants with the Blitzwurfel lines because you can never have too much of that.
Feedback.
And with that, we're done with all the classic series aliens. Don't worry, I'm gonna make Arctic-1 Upchuck and Spitter eventually, but for now, the alien force 10 are next. Like I said, I already posted a couple of them on my social media, so make sure to go follow me if you wanna see them before the next video comes out. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to support the channel, and thanks for watching.